I want to start this video sharing a memory with you guys. When I was a kid, I used to spend whole summers with my grandparents in the countryside. No phone, no internet, no screens. And every single day at some point, I would get bored. Really deeply bored. And what I did with that boredom was I would go down to this little river next to my grandma's house and I would watch the beavers. I know it sounds like the plot of the movie Hoppers. Or I would grab a bunch of markers and draw fake tattoos all over my arms, then all over my sister's arms, and all over my cousin's arms. I was doing something creative with my boredom because I had no phone to distract me. And that was the texture of being bored back then. Boredom was a doorway into creativity. It was where ideas came from. And maybe yes, after taking action on some of the ideas, like drawing tattoos all over my arms, I had to spend hours in the bathroom trying to wash everything off. But now, honestly, the situation is even more sad because the moment we feel bored, the phone comes out. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. 20 minutes gone, an hour gone, and we don't even remember a single thing we watched. So a few weeks ago, I made this dopamine menu for myself, and it has genuinely changed my relationship with my phone. So today, I'm gonna walk you through how to build your own and why I think it's super important to have one. If you're new here, hi, my name is Veronika, and on this channel I make videos about nervous system regulation, your attention, and basically learning how to live in a world that's designed to keep us overstimulated all the time. If that sounds like your kind of place, hit subscribe and stick around. I'll be sharing my actual personal dopamine menu in this video, but if you want a free copy, like a template to use to create a dopamine menu for yourself, you can grab it completely for free in the description. It's a one-page printable document, and there's also a Canva link. So you can choose to print it, or maybe you can draw it, do it as a creative project, or just use Canva and customize it and swap things out. And also, it's completely free. Alright, so let's begin and talk about what a dopamine menu is and where this framework comes from. So a dopamine menu is exactly what it sounds like. It's a list full of activities and hobbies you can choose from when you feel that itch to grab your phone. Think of it like a restaurant menu, but instead of food, you have all of the different things that give you a more sustainable type of dopamine instead of the cheap, fast food type of dopamine that your phone gives you. This whole framework, like creating a dopamine menu, comes from a creator named Jessica McCabe, the author of the YouTube channel How to ADHD. She came up with this idea originally for people with ADHD brains who struggle with low dopamine and need stimulation to function. But I think even though this menu started in the ADHD space, I think it's very useful for anyone who literally lives their lives with a phone in their pocket. We're all dealing with some version of the same problem. We're all overstimulated, under-rested, and reaching for the easiest dopamine hit 100 times a day. And the reason why I personally think this dopamine menu works is not because you're forcing yourself to do better activities. Like, okay, being on your phone is a bad thing, so I have to stop doing it. I have to be, super productive, this like perfectionist mindset, right? So, okay, all of the things I have on my dopamine menu, they have to be super creative, super productive because I'm trying to force myself to do something that's actually better for me. I think the dopamine menu works because you're removing the moment of decision. Right now, the phone wins almost every single time because there's no friction. The moment you feel bored, it's very easy. Your phone is right there and you don't really have any alternatives. Like, you're used to just being on your phone. If you really think about it, if I feel bored right now and I decide to go down to some little river and sit there and watch the beavers, that's gonna require a lot of my time, a lot of my effort, and honestly, I don't want to do it right now. But picking up my phone is easy. I'm already laying on the couch. I might be snacking on something. It's like a whole dopamine cocktail. And the truth is, our phones aren't going anywhere. Social media is not disappearing. It's our our responsibility to create those digital boundaries for ourselves, because no one is gonna create them for us right now. We're the adults. So there's no parent who's gonna come into your room and say, why are you still on the phone? You have to go, you have to sleep. Stop being on your phone right now. Social media companies aren't gonna do that for us, because our attention is the product, and our attention is our time, and our time is absolutely everything. Now let's talk about why most dopamine menus just don't work. And I'm gonna share with you guys 4 very common mistakes. So mistake number 1 is that the items on your menu are way too big. This is honestly something that I've been noticing for myself, because I'm a person who really likes to journal. Like, I notice the benefits almost immediately. But at the same time, if I tell myself, or if I put on my dopamine menu, go journal, most likely I'm not gonna do it, because it sounds very like abstract, very big, and like, I don't wanna do it. You know, I immediately think about writing like 10 pages of something, and no, that is not something that I wanna do right now. I would rather be on my phone. The trick is to write the smallest entry point possible, something very easy to understand. So usually when it comes to journaling, I have like a bunch of journaling prompts that I use. For example, one of the most common journaling prompts is write 3 things you're grateful for. It has to be something specific, not just go journal, but write about everything that you did this morning. Not go for a walk, but put on your outdoor shoes, or go to this specific coffee shop that I really like. Because the job of your dopamine menu is not to make you do the full activity. The job of this document is to help you get started. And for most of us, we feel a lot of friction. Like, honestly, the most difficult thing is to start. Once you start, it's easy because you're already doing it. Mistake number 2 is you don't include any time estimates. So basically, like, you don't know how much time something is going to take you. That's why, for example, in my dopamine menu, I have appetizers, and they usually take from 1 to 10 minutes. The excuse our brain makes when we reach for our phones is that I don't have time for anything else. The only thing I have time for right now is to scroll. 5 minutes, that's nothing. 15 minutes, absolutely useless. So I'm just gonna go and scroll, right? So on my menu, every single section has a time estimate under the title, so that when you know that you only have 5 minutes, you can look at appetizers. When you have more than, 10 minutes, maybe 30, maybe even an hour, you can do a main thing, like a main activity, and look at the entrees, for example. The decision is already made for you when it comes to timing, so you just look at the menu and choose. Mistake number 3 is that you treat it like a one-time project. Guys, let me tell you, it's completely normal and natural that you're going to fall off using your menu. Expecting perfection from yourself is not gonna help you here. You'll make it, you'll love it for a week or maybe 2 weeks, and then you'll completely forget about it. What I want you to understand is that things are supposed to change and evolve with you. So don't feel scared to actually change your dopamine menu. Look at it, maybe add something or maybe remove something. That's exactly the reason why I made the Canva template, so that you always have this choice. You can always go back and change things and then print a new copy for yourself. And then mistake number 4 is that you treat it as rules. The reason why most habit changes don't work is because we are relying so much on willpower. Like, I should do this, I shouldn't do that. We're trying to police ourselves. And the second you frame something as I should do this or I shouldn't do this, your brain immediately thinks of it as restriction. So I want to do it. If something is restricted, I immediately want to do it. This kind of restriction creates rebellion. And there is a part of you that wants the thing more just because you just told yourself that you can't have it. And from this amazing book, Atomic Habits, we know that lasting change happens at the level of identity, not at the level of willpower and I have to make myself do this. You're not trying to become a person who always has to tell themselves, okay, I shouldn't be on my phone before bed. You're trying to become a person who says, I'm just not a person who is on my phone before bed. I know how it makes me feel. My sleep is my priority. And so so I just don't do it. I don't scroll for hours and hours before sleep. I'll give you guys an example from my own life, how this principle from Atomic Habits really works in practice, that lasting change happens at the level of identity. When I was 17, I went vegan. I'm 26 now, so it's been almost 10 years. I even have a tattoo on my wrist right here that says "Por los animales" in Español, which means for the animals. I'm vegan for the animals. That's just how I live my life. And so when new people talk to me about being vegan, they usually assume that I'm always restricting myself. Like every single day, I'm living through this internal battle not to eat a steak. But that's not how it works. The truth is, I never feel like that, not even once. Because being vegan isn't a rule I'm following. It's just who I am, and it's aligned with what I believe in. And inside that identity, I actually feel really free. And so that is the lens that we should be using for every single lasting change in our lives. Not, okay, how I can pressure myself into doing something. How can I make myself do something? But rather, I'm not using my phone before bed because I'm someone who protects my attention. I just don't want to doom scroll because I'm someone who is connected to my body and mind. Okay, so now let's actually look at my dopamine menu, and I'm gonna walk you guys through every single section and explain why I have certain things and hobbies and activities. Alright, so the first section that I already kinda introduced to you is the section called appetizers. It's basically your quick boosts. If you only have a minute, 5 minutes, it's something that you're going to look at. I don't want to share every single thing I have here because I think this video is going to be super long. If you're interested, you can always get the free document, but I'm just going to highlight my favorite things. So recently, actually a few days ago, I got a physical copy of the Wordle book, like this game Wordle. I really like this game, and for many years I've been just playing this game on my phone or maybe on my computer. It's completely free. It's basically like a word puzzle, right? But lately I've been noticing that okay, I really want to use my phone less. So what can I do to actually leave my phone in a separate room more often? And so I actually discovered that they have physical copies, like physical books, and you can I'll show you guys. This is what it looks like. Basically looks like the real Wordle. It does look a bit different because you already have all of these, words and the letters that you should be using. So technically you can say that it's easier, but I honestly don't care. It works. If I only have 5 minutes, 2 minutes, I just use this book and I really like it. So other things I have here are things like drink a glass of water, maybe add lemon or mint or a cucumber, something fancy. Stand in the sun for 5 minutes, write one thing you're grateful for, light a candle and just sit with it for 2 minutes. Make a slow cup of tea. Better if it's loose leaf because you can touch the leaves and smell them, create this sensory activity for yourself. You can think of this section as your small little resets. Now let's look at the second section, your entrees. So these are your main events, things that are going to take you over 15 minutes. Basically your big hobbies. The first thing I have in my list here is practice a makeup look you saved. Actually do it. Because lately I realized that I've been saving a lot of, makeup looks on TikTok, on Pinterest, on YouTube, but I never actually do them. And so what's the point? What's the point of just doom scrolling if one of my goals for this year is to actually improve my, makeup techniques, like how I do my makeup. So I actually have to sit down and practice. I know it's easier to just look at a picture that you like and save it. There's no friction. You don't need to actually learn things and realize that, actually creating a wing, it takes time. It takes practice. And at first, it's gonna look really bad. And that's okay because it's part of learning. Most of the time, we just don't want to do it because it's easier to consume instead of create instead of practice and improve your skills. And I'm saying it with zero judgment because I'm exactly the same. So that's why I'm trying to be more intentional and actually practice and be more creative, actually do makeup and instead of just saving all of those pictures on Pinterest. Another thing that I have here, which is pretty new to me, is an app called Mindcera. I've been really liking this app. I can show you guys one of my conversations that I had with this app a few days ago about, I think, my yoga, because recently I started practicing Ashtanga, learning the primary series, and I've had a lot of like conflicting thoughts about it, and it's basically like an AI journal. Like you can customize the color. As you can see, I really love pink, so I chose the pink for myself. So you can either scan, speak, or write, and it's really great for those people who love to speak. So you're basically talking, right, sharing all of your thoughts, and then their AI analyzes all of this and it creates the summary of all of your emotions that you're feeling. It's not giving you the answer. It's not like ChatGPT that's like, oh, you're always right, you're always amazing. No, it's just highlighting the emotions that you're experiencing. And that's pretty much it. It's like your journal, like a voice journal, but with a little bit of feedback. And it also creates really beautiful pictures, like really beautiful art based on your journaling entries. Another interesting thing I have here for my entrees is going to a flower market and actually buying myself different flowers so that I can come home and create a bouquet for myself, because I really like fresh flowers and I like creating different bouquets. So just going to a flower market and buying roses and this and that. Like, I don't really know the names of the flowers that well yet, but I'm learning. So I have 3 vases at home. So why not go to the flower market more often and educate myself and learn all the different names of the flowers and actually come back home and create something nice and beautiful. So to summarize, entrees are your bigger, more satisfying activities. Now let's look at sides. And here you can say that this section could be a little bit controversial. Sides are your things that you pair with a boring task. And the reason why I say it could be controversial is because you guys know I always talk about the importance of single tasking, like focusing on just one thing at a time. For example, you're washing the dishes and you're just focused on that. No music, no podcast, no nothing. But of course, sometimes you still want to listen to music while washing the dishes because washing the dishes feels boring, and that's okay. I always say it's not about, this all or nothing thinking. It's about choosing the balance for you. So it's okay to, fold laundry while also listening to something. It's just sometimes, for example, this morning, I was doing my makeup and I noticed that I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I was trying to do this wing and use a new eyeshadow, and I was also listening to something in the background, and I was like, okay, I feel a little bit overwhelmed. So I need to switch everything off and really focused on doing my makeup. So things that I have here for my sides include audiobook while folding laundry, podcast while cleaning the kitchen, voice note your thoughts while you're walking somewhere, or maybe you can record a voice message to your friend, for example. Yeah, listening to some kind of audio while cooking, lighting a candle and listening to some calming music while answering your emails, for example. Then we move on to your desserts. These are your intentional treats. I'm not saying you can never use social media right now. It's very important to do these things in moderation. So that's why we still have desserts. The rule for this, though, is it has to be chosen, it has to be focused, and it has to have an ending. Not an endless feed, not a bottomless scroll. So instead of scroll YouTube, what I have here is choose a video from a creator that I love and watch the full video without distractions, without, being on my phone while also watching a YouTube video. No, you're focused on this YouTube video. That's it. With YouTube, what also really helps me is creating a queue. So I am on my homepage and then I choose 3 or 4 videos that I want to watch and I create a queue so that there's no, bottomless feed, because obviously on YouTube, there are also so many different videos and you can just watch YouTube all whole day, every single day. Another thing you can do here is watch a show, right? But when you're watching a show, you're 100% focused on this show. Because what I'm noticing right now is that for many of us, it's become really hard to watch like a full movie or even like an episode of a show without reaching for your phone like in the middle of watching something. Because like after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, you're like, oh, this movie is so slow. I don't know if I want to watch it. Maybe I should like shop on Amazon while watching something, or just scroll on TikTok, scroll on Instagram. But in reality, if you're doing that, like, are you really watching the movie? Obviously, you're not. So you're either here on your phone or there watching the movie. Because what I'm trying to explain here is that the phone itself isn't the enemy. It's usually the bottomless scroll. Because like, 20 minutes in and you're still scrolling and there's no ending, obviously. So the only thing that is going to help you end your scroll is either your willpower or maybe like phone restricting apps that many of us just ignore. So I think the bottomless scroll is exactly something that most of us really struggle with. All right, and the final section called specials is honestly probably my favorite section here. Honestly, maybe every single section is my favorite section. But specials are basically your bigger experiences. Something that is going to take some planning or like a lot of your time. Maybe it's a trip, maybe it's attending a workshop. It's like a new big experience for you. Because I think right now, most of us also don't start learning something new because there is a voice in your head telling you that something is going to take forever. Like learning a new skill, it's hard. Or building a fitness goal is difficult, it's challenging. Finally finishing a course you bought, like all of that requires your focus and time. But I want you to look at it with a slightly different perspective. Let's say your goal right now is learning to do a pull-up. I can't do a pull-up right now, for example, and I know that if I start learning, it's going to take me forever. Maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe 3, I don't know, but a very long time. And so just the idea that, oh wow, it's going to take me like 2 years to learn a pull-up, and the next thought I have is, I don't want to do it. It's not worth it. But the thing is, the time will pass anyway. In 3 years, you could be a person who can do a pull-up or not. The time will pass anyway. And so that is exactly the thought that is helping me not be afraid and start learning something and like go through this messy beginning part where I don't know how to do anything. Like with my makeup, I only started learning how to do makeup probably like 3-4 months ago. Basically the same thing with my handstand journey. When I first realized how much time it was going to take me to learn how to do a handstand, I was like, heck no, like I don't want to do it. It's going to take me forever. A year, 2, 3, 4, but the time will pass anyway. You're just choosing what you fill it with. So guys, I think it's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to get a copy of my dopamine menu, you can do it completely for free. You can print it, or maybe you can just look at it and like draw it, or maybe you can approach it more as a creative project and actually do some drawing, painting, and like create a physical copy for yourself. The link to the template is going to be in the description. If you're thinking about what to watch next, I highly recommend this video right here. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!